Now, our fourth question for the evening will come from Charles Thomas. Charles, you should direct your first question here to Andy McKenna.
Mr. McKenna, your father is renowned not only in Illinois, but around the country as an extraordinarily successful businessman. Consequently, you grew up in a very privileged environment compared to the vast majority of people who live and work in Illinois. How can you know, or how have you learned, the struggles of working people and those who can't find work and can barely make ends meet?
Well, first of all, I think to help grow a business, you need to be able to work with everybody in that business and appreciate their important experience, because part of your work is creating opportunities for people at every level. Secondly, following the example of my father, I chose to get involved in the community. One of the things I'm most proud of is I helped to found an organization here in Chicago called Rebuilding Together. What we do is help repair the homes of homeowners who are in need, particularly those who are senior and disabled. And since we began this organization, we've repaired over 1,000 homes in the city of Chicago. But going into those homes and working in those communities, it gave me the chance to see through the eyes of people in need what their life situation was and how it's so important and critically important that we build opportunities. And it's a reason, in my view, that we cannot have a tax increase, because that's going to hurt opportunities in Illinois. And it's a reason I want to use my business experience to grow new ventures, because we can have a high-growth economy that benefits everybody.
Thank you very much. Mr. Schillerstrom, your response to that question.
I'm an Illinoisan through and through. I was born in Harvey. I went to college in Jacksonville. We lived in Rockford, and I've lived in the suburbs for the last 50 years, and I went to law school in the city of Chicago. So I know what is important to the people of Illinois. I will take that to state government. The reason that I am involved in this is, like many people, I'm very proud to be an Illinoisan, and I'm very disappointed when we're the butt of late-night jokes and when we are the last in every single indicator except for corruption. I know that there is a better way to do this because I've been doing it for the last 12 years. I have run a model Republican government. I want to take that approach to Springfield because I know that we can change the culture down there. We can make Illinois a great state again. That's why I want to be your governor, and I'm only going to run one term so I can solve problems and then go home.
Thank you, Mr. Andrzejewski. Your response to that question.
Well, I grew up downstate in a small town of Herscher, Illinois. Population 1,200, one road in, one road out, no stoplights. And I grew up walking beans to tasseling corn and baling hay for $3.35 an hour. So I know exactly how hard it is to earn one single solitary after-tax dollar. I was raised by a father and mother of character. Back in 1978, 32 years ago, my father took on the corrupt Republican political machine in Kankakee County. My dad ran for state representative versus George Ryan. You can see the seriousness of purpose that I have. Nothing rankles me more than waste, fraud, corruption, and abuse of public spending with our money. Kirk Dillard likes to say that he's the middle-class candidate. Kirk lives in Hinsdale with me in a $1 million house, and he's the partner in a downtown international Chicago law firm. That's not middle class, Kirk.
Thank you. Mr. Dillard, your turn.
Wish my house was worth $1 million. It's not. My father was a public school teacher. My mother was the chief surgical nurse at Hines Veterans Hospital in Maywood, who got up every morning at 4 a.m. to go serve veterans. She grew up on a farm in Kentucky, and my uncles are coal miners from Kentucky or southern Illinois. I'm a product of public schools. Went to Western Illinois University, where I worked my way through. Been the president of its alumni association for many years. Went to DePaul University under the L tracks, lived in my parents' basement when I did that. I have lived and been educated in all three areas of this state, and my wife's family is a historic centennial farm family from central Illinois. I am proud to say that I send my children to public schools, and we are very much, Adam, a middle-class Illinois family.
Thank you. Mr. Proft, your response.
Yeah, like everybody else, I was born a poor black child, too. I mean, this is exactly what this election is not about. These politicians' biographies, this navel-gazing bromides. This is about policy choices. So let me give you one that enfranchises people here that have gotten the shaft in this state. I'm the only candidate who has proposed a statewide opportunity scholarship program for low-income families who are disproportionately relegated to schools that we know will fail them. I've met with James Meeks, the state senator from the South Side, who also is the chairman of the Senate Education Committee, who understands that we need to introduce competition at the K through 12 level to give folks in the South Side and the West Side and urban centers all around the state who have to attend schools that we know will fail them, the schools that we know will never even give them the opportunity to learn how to read, write, and think critically, skills they need to be successful adults. He wants to turn Springfield upside down. He wants to turn our K through 12 system upside down to give low-income folks the same opportunities that the more affluent and the more politically connected, like all of us up here, have had.
Thank you. Mr. Ryan?